if they ask me for something, I check out the back. It's not there. I tell them, sorry. They leave. I leave. That is the interaction done. Yeah, no, I can't imagine what kind of content I'd be making now, or even if I'd be in content if I hadn't got into Rising. But yeah, I'd do bits. I'd swoon. I'd flirt with Kim Jong Un. I'd make out with Kim on stream.
Alright lads, welcome back to InsideMC, a part of the podcast where I sit down with an amazing guest every single week, and by pure coincidence, okay, this was genuinely not lined up in any perfect way. I mean, I guess, like, I think that the issue of InsideMC, right, is we have this issue, which is a positive issue, and I've said that 3 times now, that we accidentally line things up perfectly. For context here, the guest today is a member or a participant in MCC Rising 2, which we'll get into talking about later on the podcast. I just thought it's a cool law to start in the intro. However, today I am joined with Pyroscythe.
I'm Pyroscythe and it's 4 a.m. I'm really cold. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You're one of the obviously I know people like to have good sleep schedules, except for us. I stay up to like 3 a.m. and then wake up at 8 a.m. Yeah. But a lot of respect for you being up at 4 a.m. recording a podcast with me today. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm role playing as a European. It's awesome. Well, it's like kind of awesome. I get to talk with Europeans, but like, oh goodness, it's rough.
Even it's 7 p.m. so you're not even fully role playing as a European.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I got to stay up a few more hours.
Exactly. I realized I pronounced the C in your name. It's Pyroscythe, but I keep saying Pyroscythe.
I didn't correct it because I thought you were running a bit. Yeah, it's like scythe, like like the harvesting tool that like people that like old timey folk use for, like the Grim Reaper. The scythe.
Yeah. It wasn't a bit. Apologies. I just, for some bizarre reason, decided I wanted to keep. I mean, I did it with Captain Sparkles. I genuinely thought his name was Jardon until he said, like, no, my name's not Jardon. I was like,
no. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh damn. Okay. Well.
It's kind of funny though. I like it.
That's hilarious. I'd probably I'd die off podcast and recording there. But
it's about how you play it off though. That's the thing. Like I'm very good at playing off.
Did you play it off well?
No, I was just honest with him. I was like, I genuinely thought your name was Jardon. But it's about how you take it, right? I didn't turn around with you right now and be like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I was saying your name wrong the entire time. I was like, I owned it. I was like, I'm just stupid.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Anyways, welcome in. I hope you're doing well at 4 a.m. in the morning. I know you just finished streaming, so it's good to see that you're still good to talk after 3.5 hours, because normally after streams I get a little bit tired. But before we get into anything else, I always like to give the intro for you to let us know who you are. Who are you? What do you do? If you have a fun fact maybe for us today.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Pyroscythe. People call me Jack as well, which is my real and true name. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I am probably, there's not many folks who come out of Australia in our sort of corner of the Minecraft community. So I like to try really push the fact that I am from Australia and I am representing my country, my folks, my people. We have a very small and cozy scene down here, but I really like to do them proud by getting in as many events, getting my foot in as many doors, and meeting as many people as possible. So I like to travel the world, go to cons, and meet a lot of people around the world.
Oh, that's nice.
I also stream. Yeah.
Oh, really? You're a streamer? What?
Yeah, I do occasionally. Yeah.
I thought you was a YouTuber with that consistent upload schedule.
No, yeah, that when was my last video? I think it was
7 months ago.
I think it might have. Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't even know.
Why would this Minecraft streamer say this while live? And then before was Twitch unbanned this Minecraft streamer. Like, considering your last 2 titles are talking about being a streamer, I'm quite shocked that you actually do stream.
Yeah, no, well, some of my regular viewers, they would actually try to convince you that I don't stream based off when I'm live, which is usually midnight at my time. But they're usually in bed, usually well in bed or sleeping, because they have jobs or school or lives or like spouses and significant others. But no, I stream to a very small group of degenerates who stay awake all night or Europeans, which is cool.
Who aren't Australian. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess to start while we're on this topic, normally I'll start with like, how did you get your name and your skin, which we'll get into talking about at one point. However, I kind of wanted to start this one with like the whole being Australian part, which let me give context here. Like, I'm not going to turn around and go, how's it feel to be Australian? No.
Context is that I am Australian. I'm from Australia.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. But I'm not going to turn around and be like, how does it feel being an Australian? More so like in the content creation scene, obviously you're in a time zone that isn't very convenient with, I mean, when you played Rising, that was at 8 p.m. BST, which would have been in 5 a.m. Like that's very inconvenient, and I respect, because your entire team, or like I know you and Maddie are Australian. Anyone, is Linku Australian, or like that kind of side?
Linku is Australian. Linku is one of the only other people who I know in content who's from my city, but we live on the other side of the city from each other. But yeah, that's another story. But yeah,
like that's why I respected your team so much with the whole still being able to stay up. Like, did you stay up or did you wake up?
So with time zones, typically I do a bit of sorcery. So I have to do, you know how when they're launching satellites, they have to calculate for like, okay, when the Earth is spinning this way, it'll be here, and then we're landing it here at this time, or like it'll be in orbit at this time. So I have to like have a nap, like a targeted, calculated nap at like a certain time. So I think if you want the specific example for
go on.
MCC, so I pretty much went bed that day at about 2 p.m. So I stayed up. I purposely deprived myself of sleep till 2 p.m. Woke up at about 9 p.m. And then I trained like hell, met with my team like hell, played the event at 5 in the morning. And I think I just stayed up until say it must have been about midday, because just the adrenaline of that sort of whole thing rides with you after that. So really just had to pre-plan. And after that, there is no plan. It's I need to get my sleep schedule back to being somewhat normal, because that really, it throws you for a loop. It really just, it tosses you around. But it's hard. It's really hard with time zones.
I was going to say, how does it like affect content creation? I mean, you seem to have gotten into a bit of a schedule here with right now being up until 4 a.m. You've just finished stream, so you was kind of up at this time anyways. You didn't stay up for the podcast or wake up for the podcast. You had just finished a 3-hour stream from 12 o'clock onwards. Yeah. So how does this like affect when you're having to stream at this time and having to do like, you're obviously like playing in events, etc. I mean, I guess less so how does it affect your content creation life, and more so how does it affect your actual life with family and friends and anything you do in person?
It's really hard. I think a lot of people, they make it work. So a lot of Australians, I know, a lot of Australians that you might know, they stream for the time we stream around our lives. I think everybody does. But the reason I stream at midnight wasn't actually because of the audiences and that sort of thing. I streamed at midnight because of my work. I have a job outside of streaming. I work at a grocery store, but I work on the night shift, or like the evening kind of shift. And I finish work at 11 o'clock every night. So back when I started streaming, I had school or university in the day, and then I went to university at night, and I'd want to maybe see people in the afternoon. I'd see family, I'd see friends, I'd eat dinner, I'd go do my life, I'd do work. So the only consistent time block I had, because I told myself I have to have a good window where I can stream. So I picked midnight because I was just up at midnight every night, and it was COVID. So I was just on Zoom classes. And Melbourne in particular was hit really bad by COVID. We really were just in our houses, couldn't leave for about 3 months straight. And then that was the height, and then it was slowly dropped. That was the time zone, midnight. It was when I had the free time and the consistent free time every day. I locked that in, but over time I realized, that's actually a really good time. If you look at the Twitch analytics, the least amount of channels alive for the most amount of viewers, especially in the Minecraft. So I found myself in a time zone that was really accommodating of both my schedule at the time and the analytics cycle, but that really started to fade. The convenience started to go away. It's been really hard, like personally, on a personal note, it's been pretty hard maintaining like relationships with friends and others, just because like I've had to sacrifice a lot of like outings, because I'd be like, I have to go stream. Guys, I'm sorry, I can't like stay out. I had to be like sober because I was to drive home. Sorry guys. Which isn't like an end of the world, but like, you know. And then at the same time, there's been situations where I'm like, I've been seeing someone and I'm like, sorry, I can't stay over the night. Like I get home, I gotta work, I gotta go stream. That would put strain on this. And that is one end of the strain, but it's a candle that I'm burning at both ends. If I'm, streaming until 3-4 in the morning and then I'm doing something else afterwards, then I'm waking up at like midday or 1 p.m. and then that's like my morning gone. Suddenly I'm not waking up next to someone, or like I'm not texting someone, or I'm not hanging out with my friends, I'm not going to lunch, that kind of thing. So it's tough. I don't think this stands for all Australians or New Zealanders or maybe people in Southeast Asia who have similar schedules, but it stands for like a lot of people who are live.
Before, when I started the podcast, I did about 12 uploads, and then I got it because I got a night shift job. I left my old job at the time, which was a warehouse job, and I got a night shift job, which was, I say night shift, it was working from 12 p.m. till 10 p.m, right? So because of it, I had no life to do anything. And
that's the worst possible slot for a job. That's awful. Yeah.
But the money was amazing for me at the time. That's the issue. I ended up leaving after like
as well.
9 months. Exactly. But I think with your case is slightly better because my walls are very thin. The only reason, like, at least this week I'm going to be really loud. It's because my parents are on holiday, and the podcast is always recorded in this audio anyways. But for the most part, I have to like kind of keep a mellow tone out of respect, because I live in a smaller house that was a thin. And
same goes. Yeah.
It meant I was never able to do content creation because if I wanted to come home and stream, I didn't want to, and then I didn't stream in the morning because I spent like 2 hours on the toilet. So
yeah, we've got exactly the same problem because like Australian houses. I don't know if it's yours is like a bit of a unique case, I guess, in terms of like because I guess we both
I live
houses.
in London and I live in a house that my parents have lived in for the last 21 years. So that kind of sums up.
Yeah. So I live in a house. My mum.
Well, not even a house. It's like
my stepdad is like a townhouse apartment kind of thing.
Yeah. I won't get into too much just in case, but I don't live in a house. I live in
No, fair enough. Yeah. So I live in a small house in the suburbs. It was me and my mum for just the longest time. My stepdad since moved in, but it's still like they get up really early into work, and I can't be yelling. Like only in the last couple of weeks I got soundproofing on my door, but like I can't scream, I can't yell. I got neighbors, like they'll hear me. We have very thin walls in Australia just because of the way our houses are built, insulation. Like it's like 4 a.m. I'm like freezing my ass off right now because like we just don't have heat. Like no, it's all good. Please do not apply. No, it's all good. It's tough doing content at nighttime. It's awesome because I love it and I love being able to just do things, no distractions, but also like life doesn't just stop,
I'm surprised though. I feel like because of how you stream sometimes and you sound decently loud on stream, at least for me, right, I have to like genuinely, this is how I have to talk, right? I'm about to transition. If you hear a difference, you hear a difference. If you don't, you don't. When I'm on a call at nighttime, this is literally how I have to sit on a PC. I have to I was playing pro clubs the other day, right, for like 11 p.m. And this is how I talk. For the listeners, I'm not going to change the audio sound of that, and the audio is boosted for the podcast, so I'll probably sound louder, but I don't know if you heard a difference, but listen to that compared to how I'm speaking right now. I have to genuinely quiet down so much. If I go live, I'm gonna be like, oh guys, let's play some parkour. I can't see. The thing is, I'm a streamer, but I don't know how to fake streaming. It's really strange. Hey guys, welcome back. Let's get some MCC Island going, as opposed to welcome back to stream MCC Island, so it's tough.
Totally.
But I respect you a lot being able to do that, because obviously you're balancing a job with content. I genuinely thought you were full-time content. I know you're going to turn around and be like, I'm not in a position to.
I'm a full-time student actually.
Yeah, but you work is what I mean.
I
thought you did full-time content as income plus the student. I didn't know you also had a job as well.
I tried it last year, but like you can look at my upload schedule. I kind of just do it. Like I just got lazy. I just had games and I was like, hell yeah. I was just kind of demotivated. You can check like stats from the first half of the year to the last half of the year. Fire was lit inside me when I went to TwitchCon Paris, and then I came back, and then I went like hell. There's actually a really good story. I'll talk about that later. But essentially there's a marked gap in my effort in content over time. But yeah.
What are you studying?
I do international politics, and I focus on global security. So state-on-state relations, war, conflict, peace building, and security dilemmas.
And
it's,
in like a dead honest sense here, what would you rather do in the future? If you had to pick one to go full time, someone turn around with you right now and it was like, okay, I can give you either a really good job in this field, or I can make content creation full time for you.
Because there's so many. The spectrum of the two jobs are very different. Because I don't know if I suddenly became really successful on YouTube and Twitch and like shorts, and I was doing a healthy work-life balance doing that, I probably think I'd take that any day. But also, I don't know what it's like to work in security and international politics and stuff like that.
Well, you'd have the option. Let's just say you have the option to move to the other one after like 5 months of not liking it.
Probably content then. I'd think I'd probably say that genuinely. Yeah, because I feel like the field is way more diverse and like I love it, and I think I make people happy in that versus politics and security. It's like very much just like how can I piss the least amount of people off. But yeah.
I love pissing people off. I'm a barista.
God, yeah,
you're working customer service, and I love pissing people off.
Oh yeah, you are like you're braver than the Marines.
I'm so strong.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw those like things of like what's harder, being a streamer or like working in retail, I was like, I do both. I balance both. And it's probably the same as you as well. It's like one can't really be harder than the other because I do both of them anyways. So
the thing is, look, I have a pretty, in terms of customer interaction, if you look at streaming versus retail, I work on the shop floor. I put box on shelf, so that means I'm also answering questions, customer queries, stuff like that. But I feel like it's different between daytime and nighttime. Like I feel like the girls in the registers, they cop it. Like they are braver than the Marines. And I say that with my full chest. But at nighttime, people come in, it's the end of their workday. They've probably been spending all day with kids. They're just tired. They want to get where they want to get and they get out. If they ask me for something, I check out the back, it's not there. I tell them, sorry. They leave. I leave. That is the interaction done. But in the daytime with the girls, if they scan an item and suddenly it's not the price on the fucking shelf, it is like chaos and bedlam for them. I feel so bad. But yeah.
I do a lot of manner teaching. I have a lot of regular customers who slowly are learning manners over time because I'm helping teach them it. Because
I don't know why. I think you said manner teaching. Like manner isn't like magic.
I'm like, sometimes I just go, oh, hocus pocus. And they like, their coffee's made for them. I didn't have to like manually do it. Kind of moving away from that then and into a more basic question. How did you get into content creation in the first place?
I think in terms of consuming content, which is where everyone starts off before content creation, I started watching streamers in 2012 or 2013. So I was on Twitch before it was called Twitch, but I watched a lot of YouTube videos back in like 2009, 2010. One of the first, I think it was genuinely the first Minecraft content creator I watched was actually Martin the Littlewood. He's probably the one who got me into Minecraft videos the most. And then from there, it was like Captain Sparkles. In terms of streaming, which I think was the main thing I started off first, I watched 3 of like the pillars of Twitch back then, and even now to an extent. I watched Forsen, Soda Poppin, and Reckle, rest in peace. And those guys really sort of shapes just like the kind of content I wanted to make back like when I eventually started streaming, when I became an adult. I started streaming itself when I was I believe I was 18 years old, because that's when my internet first became good enough to stream. So the minute I could have streamed, I did. And I was going through the end of my year 12 exams. I was a World of Warcraft streamer. I streamed casually with my friends. I actually got a little bit of an audience. I got like maybe 10 average viewers. And then I just stopped. I played League of Legends with my friend. It wasn't really going anywhere. And then it was midway through 2020. A huge burst of COVID hit my city. The premier announced that we were going to a lockdown. And I just said, I need something to do tonight. I'm going to try beat hardcore Minecraft. And I have been trying to do that for 4 years since then. So yeah, that's how I got into content creation.
And then what about the name choice? Pyroscythe.
So I mentioned it a second ago. I was a World of Warcraft streamer. I played as a warlock, so I wanted something kind of edgy. I made it when I was literally 13 years old, maybe probably 12. Warlocks in World of Warcraft, there's like a certain subclass that uses fire. I wanted a scythe. I put 2 and 2 together. I wanted 1 together, I guess, and then it became Pyroscythe. And I don't know why I stuck with it, because it's such a specific name. Because you didn't have one character name across. You make separate characters in World of Warcraft. So I've had other names that I've went by. I've went by like Endov, I've Daldiam, I've went by like Faladel. But I don't know why Pyroscythe stuck, because it's probably the cringiest one of all. But everybody just shortens it. Like Pyroscythe goes to Pyro, or to like Jackie P, or just people just go to Jack. Pyroscythe is just more of a label by this point, like an IGN.
And Minecraft content obviously then comes about. Some of the content you've made over the years is what would you I'd class you as like an SMP creator / sort of tournament creator. I don't really know, but then also now with streaming you've done a decent amount of variety. Especially these last 2 days from recording.
Yeah, no, certainly. So in terms of Minecraft, I honestly would pin myself as just sort of, I play whatever game and whatever server, whatever mod helps me interact with my community the best, whether that be the Kaboodle SMP, the long-term roleplay project was just finished by the weekend, or it is usually hardcore, because I find that there's less distractions. Often I find that playing with other people can limit my ability to interact with chat, but I love creating moments for my chat in those SMP settings. And especially since, because my first event was MCC Rising 2 last year. Since MCC Rising 2, I have been like super duper invested in making these sort of like really funny moments, these clips, creating these really like things to make that community that I built up over the years of playing hardcore like proud. Like I'm sort of stepping into the bigger space and being like, guys, like look at us. Like the Pyroscythe name is like, I'm representing you guys. Like I'm stepping in. But that's why I sort of step into the event space. But it is largely just hardcore and whatever chat interaction content that I can do, really.
Isn't it crazy crazy that if you capitalize on something or do something right in the moment of an opportunity that you're given, that you can then progress from it in such an extreme way, such as with you said there with the MCC Rising 2 being like a first event. Now you play in Block Wars. You've played in other tournaments as well. I can't really remember names, apologies, but I know you've played in a few. Thing is like you've become, if you weren't already invested in the scene then, you've become a crap ton more invested now. And I reference this all the time, and I think it's why I'd love to get into Rising so much, because of InsideMC more so, reaching out to people. I mean, we watched the application before we started recording, and you saw like thumbnails pop up on the screen. They were all MCC Rising participants over the years, and it benefited InsideMC a bunch. And I think like the Lime Llamas are like a prime example of like how much weight boxes become invested in this scene, as opposed to when before Rising people knew him. But now look, Pandora's Box, MC Mayhem, MC Mania, Block Wars, like it's a bunch.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love seeing I think specific. I mean, God, I forget people in Rising 1 just because so many of them are just integral parts of the community now that I'm just like, you in Rising 1?
Oh my God.
I had a moment. I mean, I think I was in Brighton with Michaela Dark Eyebrows, and I was like, wait, oh my God, like you are in Rising. Like I can't even like recall. Like it's completely slips my mind because I'm just like, oh yeah, you're in the community. It's different with MCC Rising too, because I knew everybody on every team. Most teams I knew pretty intimately. But it is crazy to see like like MCC Rising 2 was certainly the pivotal point of my like content career, I think, even though it was so recent.
That's because you did a good job with it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying no one did. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that there's no one who didn't do a good job with it. But the way I see it is like a lot of people. I think with Rising, they've done an amazing job the last 2 times of picking people, or at least the majority of people who are going to capitalize and do something with it. I think you did an amazing job with that also. So
yeah, I didn't mean to like toot my own horn, but like I tried really hard.
It's your podcast. Pick yourself up, please. It'd be boring if you just sat here the entire time like, I don't think I'm that good.
I'm the fucking shit. No, but
that's what I like.
No. So essentially, I really did I went into MCC Rising 2 with one goal, and that was just to like make a good show. But in the process of doing so, I suddenly found myself in calls training for like, at least 5 hours a day with specific people. But now I'm like, oh my God, like I can't believe I'm friends with you, or like I can't believe I'm like interacting with you regularly. That's crazy. But no, it was such a strange situation for me to be in, because none of my community were like in belief that I was in, even when I was announced. There was 1 or 2 people who theorized that I might have been in. And then when I got announced, people were like, they didn't even see the tweet, because my community aren't like really in the event space or like the Nox Crew MCC space. So none of them really knew. But I can't imagine what kind of content I'd be making now, or even if I'd be in content if I hadn't got into Rising too.
Really?
But
it changed you that much.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to get into it now or not, but there was this really pivotal moment where I sort of was doing this. Like I said, I was doing full time last year, 2023. But I wasn't really pushing myself. I wasn't really taking advantage, making the most of it.
You were full time, but you weren't acting full time.
Yeah, I had a lot of time on my hands, but I wasn't.
Okay, let's get into it. Why not? I do want to say actually just one thing, just as a passing comment here. By the time this podcast comes out, I should know, I think, because it comes out on Friday the 17th. I will know if I'm in MCC Rising or not.
I will say they let you know pretty late, because by the time I knew, it was like less than 2 weeks out, and I was like, damn, like I don't like. I was like, we're not in. I'll tell you the full story of that, but yeah.
I mean, that's timestamps. So let's get into talking about the whole pivotal stage and like what you went through. But and then we'll get into talking about being accepted into Rising and kind of forcing that, and then that transitions into the tournament scene. So go on, take the floor, and then I'll just ask questions based on this.
So I was traveling time after TwitchCon. I was feeling pretty like down in the dumps. I had set myself a goal that year. I set myself a lot of goals
just for clarification here.
I had set myself a lot of goals that year, and I set myself minimum goals and maximum goals, and I hadn't achieved any of the minimum goals. The minimum goal was to get partner, because I had a full year just to go crazy, go nuts on stream every night that I could. Wasn't partner. I wasn't even pushing. So I was pretty down in the dumps. All of my friends were in the partner line. I was separate. I was like, damn, I suck. Which is the culture around that is terrible. But I set myself a goal. I was like, I want to, if I ever come back here, I don't want to do it unless I'm partner, but I don't even want to travel in general. Like, I don't know. It's just so expensive, Australia. So at the time when MCC Rising 2 was announced, I was traveling around. I was in London with my good friend at the time, Milkberry. And I said to her, I don't want to come back. Like, it's so expensive. And we had already got our group together. We had the plans made to apply for Rising. And she said, if we get into Rising, you have to come back. And I'm like, yeah, I promise. Sure. Not thinking at all that we would get in, because I'm an eternal pessimist. I'm usually like, I am a realist. There were so many people applying. Two of us were overseas. It just wasn't likely. And then that pivotal moment of me being like, yeah, I promise I'll come back. So for that to come back, I had to get a partner. And for that partner, I had to put in a lot of work. And that work came through the motivation and the connections and the people that I met through MCC Rising. That moment in that hotel room in London was like pivotal.
So I think I missed this. Did you get accepted while in London, or did you do your application while in London? Apologies.
I did my application between London and
okay, and then when did you know you got in? When you was back in Australia?
I was back in Australia like 2 weeks later.
Got you. Yeah. Okay, sorry for that.
Yeah, all good. No, essentially, I woke up to a phone call from Maddie like, check your emails right now. So if you know you're in, you'll get an email. So yeah.
But why were you told to check the email? Or like, how did they know? The email. Oh, okay. I was about to say. Got you. Okay.
She was the registry, and I was like and she just forwarded it.
I've already full sent the InsideMC application, because even in the sign up like thing, I put the InsideMC email.
Nice.
So like I full sent it.
Yes, got the InsideMC name all over it. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, which is, the creators are more than just InsideMC, but also application.
Yeah.
I think what you had after Paris is kind of what I've had after Rotterdam. Is like,
yeah,
I got this massive. I went to Paris, but at the time I was in a different community. I'd only just joined the community, sorry, and back into content creation. No one really knew me, so it was really awkward. And I went with one of my good friends, Potato Pie, and it was great. And obviously with my girlfriend, which I can say now, at the time I was like, oh, my friend, Small Clothes, my girlfriend, that's public now. We went, and it was great, but it was like, we did a round trip, we just went for one day. Whereas Rotterdam, we full sent, like, we got in Friday morning, we left Tuesday, like, we fully enjoyed the holiday. And after, I was just like, shit, like, when I come back next year, I either want to be partner or I just want to be known. I want to be walking around and people are like, oh my god, like, not viewers, but I want people to know me, but like, hi Orbits, or, you know, this or that kind of thing, right? So it's just full kind of, I've been streaming, like, not every single day, like I didn't stream today, for example, but I've been doing so much streaming since. And so I feel what you felt, but obviously balancing with a job, it means I stay up till like 2-3 a.m. sometimes. And right now my parents are on holiday, so, you know, like, also it's a lot easier to stay up, but also, do I really want to stay up? Because, you know, it's kind of double-edged.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think it happened again this year where I came back and I'm like, there is no better motivation in content than meeting content creators in person. I think 100%. If you are somebody in the audience and you want to like find motivation, talk to people about content, but not just in a call, because like anybody can do that at any time. Make it real, like meet them in person, you know, shake their hand, sit down over like a coffee or something like that and talk, like, be dumb, talk about like growth strategies and shit like that. Like, it's fun to get into that sort of, but yeah.
I won't get into the details too much, but with TwitchCon, for example, in the after party, like I went and bought what's it called? Like I went and bought some people drinks and like creators and stuff, and it wasn't like as a part of doing it on purpose. I just thought, I said it to like a few of them. I said, like, you genuinely, I love your content, and there's like a professional sense of you, I love your content, and so I wanted to buy them a drink. And then even then, like, we kind of had like a few of them, we had conversations. Once again, not going to get into too much depth of it, but even now, just be genuine. Like, I was genuinely buying them a drink. I wasn't doing it out of thing called any gain. I just wanted to say kind of thank you, I guess, in a sense. And I feel like it's done a good job of working out, which wasn't the goal once again, but it did work out. So yeah, that's kind of what stems from that.
Yeah. No, 100%. No,
you travel Europe a lot as well. Where did you go to this year after TwitchCon?
This year after TwitchCon, immediately I went to Amsterdam. After Amsterdam, I flew to Munich. After Munich, I flew to Helsinki. And then after Helsinki, I flew to London.
And then no island this year.
Pardon?
No island this year.
Whenever I go to Europe, whenever an Australian goes to Europe, typically we have to make it worth it. So that's why I just go like so many places. I make it like an exorbitant holiday. I eat like ice soup every day. Like, I stay in a decent place, but I have like, you know, I squirrel away one pastry in the morning, and then I just like, I like lose 5 kilos over the trip because I'm starved.
That's how you saved the money to travel?
Yep. Yeah, I gotta. Yeah.
I guess to transition us into MCC Rising 2 then, unless you had like anything else to talk about that whole period of time?
In terms of this year, Europe, no, I think this year I finally felt like I had made it in the content space, like into the degree that I felt comfortable with. I think everybody obviously always wants more, and I think that's one of the toxic things of the community, where it's like there's always a growth mindset. I mean, that's just like life under capitalism, but like I felt like if I had stopped right now, I'd be happy. Whereas last year coming back, I felt like I wasn't happy if I'd stopped. But I feel like if suddenly my computer was ripped out of the ground and thrown like into a lake and I couldn't stream, fine. Like I had a good run, you know?
Yeah, I like that. That's a good mindset to have.
Yeah. Let's get into the next segment.
Oh, I just want to add to your quickly as well. With Inside, so I like to like just kind of my way of relating or talking about is just kind of saying my part as well, I guess. So, of course. With me, I'm like happy and I'm satisfied. I think if like someone took my PC and threw it into a lake, I'd be a little bit like, what do I do? Because I think I just love the podcast and love making content so much, which is good because the podcast doesn't actually really provide anything right now. Like I just about scrape income every single month from the podcast, and then I use my IRL job to pay into the podcast quite a lot. So in regards to podcast income, I'm at a big decline or decrease or debt, I guess. It was not really debt, but you get the idea. I'm in the negatives to be transparent, but I just love doing the podcast, and as much as I wanted to grow and as much as I mean it's technically a studios now, I need to get used to saying that. As much as I wanted to grow and be something, I feel like there's so many different ways I could. I mean, I see that the strictly interview videos, like the one I did with you and the SMP one, that got 22,000 views. That's like my most viewed video by
I think it's your
miles.
most viewed. Yeah, I checked it. Yeah, I checked it yesterday.
So
congratulations.
Thank you. I could full send that content very easily. Part of the podcast, upload 2 of those a week. But I love this, and as much as I'm sorry again, I feel like I've cut you off so much this today, which I don't mean to. But
no, please.
This is genuine. I'm getting to talk to you, and this is the thing of like when you said earlier about the sitting down having a talk with someone. Yes, we're doing that, and yes, we're doing it for people to listen to. But we're genuine. We're not just saying what we think you guys want to hear. We are saying what we want to say, and if you listen to it, you listen to it. That's my mentality.
Hang on, I've lost the script. It's in one of these. Okay, I found it real good. Yeah, let's
get
back to it.
I actually do not send you anything, which is very funny.
No, you don't. No, I tried clawing it out of you, but you wouldn't budge. You wouldn't crack.
Well, I mean, you could have literally said if you literally turn around and been like, can you send me topics, please? I would have went, sure. But you didn't, so it's your fault.
No, I love rolling with the punches. I like it. It's fun.
Speaking of punches, I'm about to hit deep. MCC Rising 2, you guys placed 8th as a team.
We did. Nah, don't bring... Oh, God, there's some fucking... Oh, Jesus.
Well, you said you wanted to roll with the punches, so I just did it.
That was a fucking punch, yeah. I played that fun. I think I did good. I placed 21st on an 8th place team. I got the most coins in Sands of Time, but we obviously didn't get out for a reason. But yeah, I take that. We take these.
Do you want to know what your trivia is on, without looking, do you want to know what your trivia is on the MCC Championship wiki?
What is it? Yeah,
there is one thing in your trivia. Awesome. He is currently dating fellow MCCR2 competitor and Kaboodle SMP member Milkberry. And then when we click on Milkberry, their only trivia, she is currently dating fellow MCCR2 competitor and Kaboodle SMP member Pyroscythe.
That's awesome. We have such a unique identities.
Well, neither of your teammates have any trivia, so I guess it's a win technically.
Because they're fucking losers. No, they're lovely. They're lovely. I can't believe somebody added that. That had to be added pretty recently too, because we became like we started dating like very far away from MCC Rising.
Well, yeah, it has your references from April 27th, 2024 by you tweeting about it. So they have added this very recently. Yeah,
it was hilarious. That announcement, that tweet, it felt like it was so funny. Like I've had so many proud moments in my career that I've like tweeted about, and I've done this thing. Thank you for getting me in Rising. Thank you for adding me to Block Wars. Like, thank you for getting me 10,000 followers. That thing got more likes than anything else I've put out. Like, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, guys. like it's a lovely moment, but like, holy shit.
Come on. I can't even tweet about my content and get that many likes for this announcement. Everything. Yeah. But people love that. It's like lore, you know. Like, oh my God, Pyroscythe, Maddie Milkberry lore.
Oh, it is. It is like, you know how people do, like, oh my God, like streamer A and streamer B are dating, like I shipped them, oh my God. And then like this ship becomes real. Nobody shipped us, thank God. I think it was in our boundary. I don't really have boundary. Yeah, it was very much a thing.
Yeah, it was like a boundary, but it was like, don't do that, friend.
Yeah, don't be cringe. I think I have a boundary sheet, and I think my thing is like, I don't have many boundaries. I think I wrote in there, I was like, I don't have many hard boundaries, but I will judge you and I will tell you you're cringe to your face, and I will call you a loser. That was like, and that is the strongest deterrence I've I've ever made.
I
For that
respect
sort of
that.
stuff.
That's good.
Yeah. That's such hilarious trivia.
With MCC Rising, and how was and for like many for the timestamps here as well, how was your team formed?
It was formed barely without. I mean, there was only one sort of slight thought that we had to make, and that was who's the fourth? Because me, Maddie, and Link were a trio. Like we ride together, we die together. Back then, we were always in each other's streams, always in each other's chats, collaborating on projects, hanging out. Maddie would fly down, Link and I would fly up. It was mainly Maddie flying from Sydney. But the main question was who's the fourth? And a few of our friends we thought would already sort of have teams. But one person I thought I had became friends with that year. We hung out. We pretty much played Sea of Thieves like every Friday, Saturday night together. We got like a few drinks in us. We hung out. We had just met at in person for the first time at TwitchCon Paris. That was Cena. And Cena seemed like a natural choice to us because she's a huge MCC fan. And she's also just a great, chill, down-to-earth friend. And we have a lot of friends. So like it didn't take much to think like who do we have chemistry with, but it just felt natural to have Cena on the team as well. That's how the team formed. But for our team, we really felt like it wasn't a team of four. To us, it was a team of six because for the application, the video itself was edited by Bumpy Jake. And the thumbnail was created by Strawberry Arts. And those two were so instrumental in getting us across the line because, as anybody who's watched it might know, Eddie and I were on the other side of the planet at the time of creating the app.
And still, you got in.
Somehow, by a divine mirror. I think they honestly screwed up. I don't think they background checked me hard enough. But apparently they did. I
think it shows dedication, though, doesn't it? Like, if two of you are literally on the other side of the world and you're like, yeah, we'll be back in time, so we're going to still apply. And then you did a really good application as well. Edited it. I was all edited up nicely. So Maddie
scripted the app. Like, the whole thing was scripted by Maddie on her phone.
Scripted application?
I know.
You can't do that.
I know. Yeah, Maddie scripted the entire application on her phone at her grandparents' house, and she recorded her lines on, like iPhone headphones kind of thing, like iPhone mic. And I recorded mine. I was panicking because I was at a pub in like Limerick in Ireland, and I was like talking to a guy. I got to do this Minecraft thing. I got to record lines, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to do it on my phone. The quality might be bad. And he's like, oh, come to my recording studio.
What?
Like, what? Yeah. So this guy, he was like a music producer, and he just said like, come to my studio tomorrow afternoon. Get the lines done, ship them off. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So I just went and I did it. I got the lines done in a really professional studio. So yeah, I was really, really fortunate and really lucky of that.
Would you like to know a fun fact?
Yeah, I'd love to.
My dad is from Limerick, so I fly over there.
Oh wow!
Well, it's yearly, but not so much anymore because I have family living in Limerick. So yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that specifically.
Yeah, you'd probably know the pub that I was like, well, one of them.
I mean, maybe not. Limerick is a bit big, isn't it? I get like some places, the island's like not exactly massive, but Limerick is decently big. But they're from like the outskirts, so like they live in this like my family live in this like little town on the outskirts. Which if you go down the road, it's like a four-way road. So do you know how there's like a plus sign and you can go all directions? On three of the corners, it has a pub. So
okay, all right. It was in like central. It was pharmacy. No. It was like
no clue. Sorry.
Really pretty town. I really like Limerick.
Limerick's cool,
I like the river.
And then you got the application recorded and stuff. And then when you got home, and how long after being home, was it that you found out?
So I think I arrived back home on the 29th. We found out on about, I can't really recall exact, but it must have been about the 9th. It was about 10 o'clock in the morning. I woke to a phone call. Maddie had been emailed that morning, but there's so many weird factors surrounding us getting the invite. Because on the team, I was, like I said before, I was a pessimist. I said, we're not going to get in. So many teams applying. We're not going to get in. We don't get in. Link was starting to become a pessimist because I was whittling him down. And I was on a call with him the night before. And he pretty much agreed. He was like, yeah, it's been too long. We would know. But there still had been no tweets that the people had been contacted. Cena was sort of like, I don't know. I think we could get in. I think we got a chance. Cena was a realist. She knew we had a good. She knew that we were a genuine contender. And Maddie has this weird thing where I call it milkberry luck, where she gets what she wants. And it's so frustrating because she gets it. She just gets whatever things happen to her. And she was like, we're gonna get it. Like, we're gonna get it. And I was like, bullshit. But yeah, lo and behold, she calls me 10 in the morning. I can hear the shit-eating grin on her lips when she's like, yeah, check your email. But yeah, that was that because I wasn't a part of the actual recording process. Neither was Maddie. It was all pretty much directed by Jake. Our idea was there, and we told him because it was a very basic, very bare bones application, but it was just recorded really clean, very direct, real chemistry. Yeah, that's the short of it, really. Cena and Link did all the body acting, and a couple of our friends hopped in as well. About it.
With
Really?
this application, Bendo's in America, so we had to get a good friend of mine, Shiny Dude, to be Karen.
I did notice that. Yeah.
So
yeah, I was like, oh, what's going on there? And I saw I saw the line of like, I'm on holiday. Yeah.
the little American flag sign as well, because I didn't want to do a banner. It would be funny just to do a sign that says it.
Yeah,
I think it worked. And then you and Maddie, I believe, or one of you at least, were a substitute, right, for MCC Rivals Live.
Yeah, Maddie was a substitute for. Oh no, sorry. That's Endicott. I was thinking Maddie was a substitute for Endicott. We were both substitutes for MCC Live in Rotterdam. Yeah,
it was kind of crazy as well. Like that's why I didn't expect the whole capitalizing on it, right? You did a good job and it paid off.
Yeah, I think it was also just maybe traveled such a long way. I think I want to say that they like us a fair bit. That's why we got that opportunity. But like, I nearly had to step in. I think I was told that like it was looking very like much like I think it was because we talked about it later, and we're like, there is a situation where we nearly had to step in, and we were asked like, who of you is the best player out of the three of us? It was probably me. And so the person said to us like, yeah, we're very close to having to step in for reasons we can't disclose. But yeah, no, it was very, very close. And I don't know what the circumstances were behind that. I really, because everybody had a great time. But like the whole time before that, I was like, damn, like really hope someone's flight doesn't make it because I really want to play. But I still got like an incredible, like I got to be backstage. Like I was all the jerseys that like, I don't know what they did with them, but like I was like signing jerseys and like I was on the jerseys with the really cool people. Oh, like this is satisfying. I love this. This is awesome.
So got your own MCC Rising jerseys. Did you get one of those ones where you bought in, you could get like with a custom name?
Yeah, we were the beta testers. So that's been awesome. I still have it. It's in my wardrobe right now. I haven't worn it since like maybe the start of the year because I don't want to mess it up. Because like you know how sometimes you get like a jersey and the material kind of gets a bit weird when you wash it. I want to keep it clean. And I also maybe like, oh, what if I want to like charity it off one day?
You got the quite a collection of football shirts, including the GG AFC.
GGFC. Yeah.
Oh, GGFC.
Yeah.
That was a fire football match. We won on penalties technically, right? So
I think we did win in penalties, but like yeah, we lost in every other regard. We lost because of one dominating factor whose name rhymes with beef and ends in XD.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah, he dominated. But yeah,
you were pretty good though, and it was fun playing. So
I had a terrible illness. I don't know what it was. So there were like 3 illnesses going around the con. Mm-hmm. There was COVID. There was norovirus, and then there was whatever I had. I'm pretty sure I caught what I had on the plane. So I was just like dying the whole time. So I was sprinting at people for the first half, and then the second half came around, and I was just sort of walking with intent towards the ball. I was pretty useless, but it was so fun. I really want to go back next year just to play again. Yeah.
So we could see. I mean, because we met as well. I've just brushed over this into the entire time. I got a picture with you and Maddie, which was very cool. I had to be very annoying and ask you to retake it because we were right in the sun.
No, yeah, was it outside at I forget where it was.
So I just come out of the toilet without the gory details of that. And as I was walking out, you and Maddie were like by the big duck, and I went, hi, and you went, I just found it easier. She's like, hi, and you was like, hi, and I'm like, I'm Orbits, and you was like, both of you was like, oh, and I was like, yeah, because obviously I don't really, I want to put my face out there more, and I'm trying to with like posting pictures and stuff. That's why I include my face in the app, for example. And then after I went outside, and then a big group of people met you, MJ giving you the very cool jacket as well, and I was there, and I was like, oh, I forgot to ask you, I'm trying to get pictures with like podcast guests or like people who featured, and then we went from there.
Yeah, no, and then we saw each other again at the football match.
Yes, that was very fun. Speaking of events in specific, then, what events have you played in since Rising?
I have played in 2 events since Rising. I played in actually I think I might have played in more, but they weren't like sort of tournament minigame sort of events. I think I've been in, if you're looking for tournament minigame kind of events, 2 events. I played in Block Wars 8, I think it was Block Wars 8 and Block Wars 9. One of them I was very happy to have won, which was sick.
And now you're in the next Block Wars, which would have happened by the time this, it would have happened last Saturday of this podcast releasing. But as recording, it's this Saturday.
Yes, the 10th.
Yes.
For me, 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning, which is like fine. I'm so excited. I'm sure you've had many Block Wars people on already.
A decent amount nowadays, yeah. We do a lot of coverage on the event scene.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to see what changes they come out with. I mean, I've been keeping up with the daily drops on what is happening. They're doing the daily releases on the game changes, which is really cool. Today they released called I forget the God, what's the name of them? It's the Trailblazers. It was like Trail Runners or Trailblazers, the movement-based game. I'm so keen to play it because that's probably my.
Hi, I'm Pyroscythe. I'm the movement main of the group. I want to play MCC Rising to play Ace Race.
I don't know why actually. Well, I know why. I set my. You know how? What was your game that you really want? If you get it.
Well, see, it was a little pop-up in the top right that everyone who's watched the application has missed. During my bow shot, everyone's so distracted by the amazing shot. In the top right, it actually says that the music playing behind us talking is the game we want to play.
Oh.
So behind mine, Meltdown is playing.
Yeah. Oh, fuck Meltdown.
What? You're a hater.
I think Meltdown's awesome. I just have a terrible mental.
I fucking love Meltdown. I also love movement games like Ace Race. I'd love to play as well, but Meltdown's like what I've built my entire lore around.
I just got bodied by Arco Meltdown.
But ping diff, I guess.
Well, it was he killed all 4 of us in one foul swoop, and I've never recovered.
Oh, ouch. What are your... I guess I should have asked this a little bit earlier, but now that we've covered everything, what are some of your favorite memories over the years of content creation?
Probably a lot of them have been in the last year. Getting Pana was probably one of the most recent. It's been a goal since I've been a kid. I got that. The circumstances behind that were dubious at best, but I got it. I probably finishing up my involvement in the Kaboodle SMP was crazy. I worked for a week straight on a production with multiple major cast members all coming together. The massive 2-year story arc finally concluding, trying to subvert expectations, writing it all myself, directing it all myself, and seeing that be realized at the end was incredible, and seeing the reaction on Twitter. I love the Kaboodle SMP fandom. They're all very involved, sometimes a little too involved, but and winning Block Wars was crazy after my 8th place in MCC Rising, as you reminded me. That was great. Winning with Maddie on the team was fucking cool, because like back then we were best friends. Like we'd been through thick and thin together, and winning a Minecraft event. So winning that was awesome. Winning with the team was just I think it was I remember it was Joe. It was fine, and I forget, it might have been Fulham. Lucky Lights, Block wasn't it? Yeah, it was Fulham, Maddie, Joe, Bart, myself, and Fine.
Team, what?
It was crazy. Yeah, honestly a bit OP. But, yeah.
Just a tad, but oh well, you won, and now you can say you won Block Wars because you did.
Yeah.
We didn't actually touch on like SMP. I mentioned that you was an SMP creator earlier, but we didn't kind of move into it. Let's talk a little bit about the Kaboodle SMP, if you're happy to, which I assume you are.
I'd love to.
How did you get involved in it? I once again timestamps. How did you get involved with the Kaboodle SMP?
So I had heard the name Kaboodle briefly floating around in 2022. I think she'd been on a hiatus for a while, but I knew the name because of a mutual friend of ours, and I saw this application through a thing pop up in my feed because one of the 3 main characters was a good friend of mine, Baby Ray. And so I was kind of like, I had a bit of time before university one morning, so I made an application in about 30 minutes, put it on Twitter, and people seemed to like it a lot. It got a lot of traction. And I had an interview with Kaboodle. I got a DM from Kaboodle being like, hey, can I talk to you about maybe being a cast member, being a person in this thing? And I was like, yeah, cool, awesome. But what I didn't know was behind the scenes was I had been vetted, and I had a pretty negative result in the vetting process because they were sort of nervous and they didn't really know how to approach sort of like some of my humor on streams. Like I'm pretty like, I'm normal, like I'm a good guy, but like I did have a giant Kim Jong-un cardboard cutout in my stream.
I don't see a problem with that personally, but you know, I guess you show own.
Well, yeah, I'd do bits. I'd swoon, I'd flirt with Kim Jong-un, I'd make out with Kim on stream. And that'd be a great bit because, I'm trying to shit on this guy. And they asked me about that. They're like, so like, we really don't want you to like bring a bad name. And they didn't really know how to approach it. It was just funny. And I was like, yeah. And then I got in, and then I was not a main cast member because we didn't really have, we had the 3 main cast members and then everyone else. But I really sort of grabbed the opportunity by like, I grabbed where they asked me. And I made myself, I climbed up to be like I was writing pretty much all of this season tab. And I was like helping out I took a bunch of people sort of like tutoring them at first into season 3, and yeah, that's sort of my evolution as a member. I just was really dedicated to the project for a really long time.
And sadly, it's come to an end.
Yeah, I think it's with any sort of series though, it has to end. I don't think open-ended stories are good. I feel like you have to. I think it's with every project. I think you might have heard this. I don't know if you were at that panel.
Which one?
With SMPs. It was one of the panels where I think it was Owen who
do
a project with
event
SMP,
panel.
You have to have it. Yeah, he's like, you have to have it because a lot of SMPs fail and they burn out and they trickle out because
if you're talking about the event panel, I had Rafe, the person who owned it, on the podcast. So.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was true though.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm glad it ended. I'm glad particularly my story ended the way that it did. I wrote a character that I felt really personally attached to, so I'm glad I got to do it justice. Yeah.
Do you is there anything right now that you're that you can hint at, I guess, so you're working on, like a future project, or do you just want to work on a future project but nothing yet?
No, I think right now I'm looking for internships, so I think that takes priority. But I do have one project that's been sort of like eating at my mind a little bit that I haven't started work on because I'm trying to tell myself that I didn't think I haven't been a project lead, like a sole project lead, but I have a project in mind and I have the people who I know who would be really good on it. I have like the concept and everything is bumping around, but it has something to do with a marriage between Minecraft and a very popular tabletop role-playing.
Oh, okay. That's going straight into the highlights, like that.
Yeah.
Interesting times, Pyro.
Yeah.
With that then, unless there's something else that you wanted to talk about, I feel like we've done a pretty good job of covering everything, right?
Covered a lot. We have covered a lot, yeah.
So, let's move on to the Twitter questions and then we'll wrap up the podcast. I can assume you're probably getting quite tired as well. Maybe.
Oh, no, I'm jacked up. I don't know how much caffeine I had, but I had a lot. I'm so ready to hit me as many as you want.
So the issue with our lovely Twitter questions is instead of people leaving questions, they just left an image. Pyroscythe mentioned, Pyroscythe mentioned, Pyroscythe mentioned, Pyroscythe mentioned, Pyroscythe mentioned. So I guess a Twitter question that I'd make from that is what is the origin of this image?
I don't remember particularly. I think there was a trend last year where it was like Brazil mentioned, and then it became Australia mentioned, and then I was like, I kept using the Australian mention. I'm going to use the Pyroscythe. I asked, was like, can anybody make me this? And it's not a very good image. Like, not very well done. The references aren't very easy to understand. But I guess that's sort of the point of it. But yeah, if I were to look at the image right now and I were to sort of decipher what is going on here. Yeah. So, let's see. Yeah. So it's got me in a telephone box outside of like 10 Downing Street, like a year and a half ago. No, about a year ago now, actually. Captain Morgan. I think I love rum. I think that's why they put that. They put this little rat, like a low poly rat, because that's like a little sidekick I have on stream. He's just a gif of a rat that floats around on my stream. His name's Dorito. Yeah, that's Dorito. He's an eternal stasis. He's always there. And then they gave me a black hoodie because I think I just whack sometimes. So they gave me that. But yeah, I think it's so dumb. But people,
what does it say at the bottom? Balls. Balls itch.
So have you seen the balls itch lizard?
I think so. Maybe. Do you have it to hand? Or you can just show me.
I do have it handy.
This won't be on the podcast. I don't do this editing it and stuff. I can't be. Let's see.
Just a lizard that says reposted balls itch, and that was back in 2020. That was like my guy. I had that. That was my Twitter banner, Discord banner. Like,
you really loved that image.
Yeah. No, and there's little remnants of him still kicking around, like on my starting soon screen. He peeks over the monitor computer.
Did he resonate in your heart then?
He does. He's a little cute like gecko. If I had infinite money, I'd get like that gecko one day.
Yep. Yeah. That's it for the Twitter question. Sadly, it's just the image. People just decide to spam the image.
There's nothing people want to know. I think not very elusive. I'm very open to like anything, because if somebody wants to ask me a question, they can always just pop in to my chat and they get infinite attention. Because I'm a streamer who's a narcissistic fuck who likes to talk about myself, but. Yeah, that's why I love podcasts.
Oh wait, I just realized it's your banner as well on YouTube. It's just loads of that.
Is it
image.
Really? Is it still that? Oh,
like
so I made it in hardcore. I made a map art of it in hardcore.
Oh,
I need to change that. Yeah. No, I made it block 128 by 128, painfully getting the wool, like the orange sandstone, like all that, placing it down.
Dedicated, you gotta respect it. I think we've done a pretty good job of covering everything today anyway, so who needs Twitter questions when you have me, the question guy? With that being said then, that sadly brings the end of this week's InsideMC.
It's been a pleasure being on though. Yeah, man.
Thank you. I always like to give the outro here for you to promote yourself, for the off chance that someone's watching this and they don't know who you are. Like, dude, how do you not? Please tell us where to find you.
Yeah, so I typically go by Pyroscythe on as many platforms as I can, but due to that name being so popular and so awesome, sometimes certain platforms I might go by TTV Pyroscythe. So on Twitter, I'm TTV Pyroscythe, TikTok, TTV Pyroscythe, but on Instagram and Twitch, my main platform, just Pyroscythe, same as YouTube, Pyroscythe, nothing else. You'll find me there. I usually go live at I think it's probably about 5 o'clock if you're British, about midnight if you're Australian, and about like sort of mid-afternoon if you're from America, or early morning if you're from the unfortunate Pacific Standard.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed today, and it's been amazing talking with you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely.
Thank you all for watching. Oh, listening, I should say. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Peace.